The digital autonomy. Digital autonomy is today the cornerstone to guarantee a nation the freedom to act, decide, and innovate without being influenced by external factors. In an interconnected world, where every transaction, communication, and public service depends on technological infrastructures, the lack of control over these networks is equivalent to a modern form of colonialism. Countries that entrust foreign powers with the management of their data, the provision of cloud services, or network security expose themselves to catastrophic risks, from economic blackmail to institutional paralysis. Building an autonomous digital ecosystem is not a choice, but a strategic obligation. To achieve this goal, each state must act on multiple levels. The first step is to develop independent physical infrastructures. National data centers, locally managed satellite networks, and communication cables not controlled by foreign actors. Projects such as BharatNet in India or GaiaX in Europe demonstrate that alternatives to the American giants are possible, provided they are supported by public investments and collaboration between the private sector and institutions. At the same time, maintaining total control over data and algorithms is essential. Strict laws must ensure that sensitive information, from medical records to financial records, is stored and processed within national borders, using software developed internally or in alliance with trusted partners. Countries like Iran or Vietnam have adopted autonomous encryption protocols, making their networks less vulnerable to external intrusions or manipulations. Equally crucial is the training of a specialized workforce. Without engineers, cybersecurity experts, and local developers, no digital system can be considered truly autonomous. Initiatives like the Digital Makers Plan in Brazil, which aims to train 100,000 professionals in open-source technologies, show how to build skills that avoid dependence on foreign consultancy or technology. To prepare for extreme scenarios, such as a sudden digital blockade, contingency plans are needed. Decentralized mesh networks, similar to those tested in Cuba during the 2021 protests, allow basic communications to be maintained without the internet. State-run digital currencies can bypass blocked global payment systems, while physical backups of critical data, stored in protected bunkers, ensure the continuity of the state even in the event of attacks on cloud infrastructures. International cooperation plays a key role. Nations with similar interests must unite to create common technological standards, share resources, and negotiate as a bloc with the great powers. An alliance of non-aligned countries, inspired by the movements of the Cold War, could balance the monopoly of actors such as the USA, imposing shared rules on encryption, data storage, and access to markets. However, the most concrete risk remains a unilateral digital blockade imposed by a hegemonic power. The United States, thanks to its control over global platforms, AWS, Google, Swift, operating systems, and internet protocols, has the technical capacity to isolate entire nations from the global network. Imagine a country that is denied access to cloud services for public administration, international payments disabled, government domains obscured. The consequences would be immediate: economic collapse, social chaos, inability to provide essential services. Without digital autonomy, every state is exposed to this scenario. Investing in sovereign technological infrastructure is not only smarter than buying tanks or fighter jets. It is the only way to ensure that a nation will remain standing when the next conflict is fought not on the battlefield, but in servers and algorithms. Missiles do not protect against digital blackouts, while a redundant data center, an autonomous satellite network, or a skilled workforce can make the difference between collapse and survival. It's time to act.